Hey everybody, it's Mike Mully with the Next Level Music Nerd. This is going to be an occasional video series where I talk about records and new music. So we're going to get right into it. The last few months, seen some amazing shows, grabbed some great records, met some great people as always. Always so cool to get out and see new bands and see some old bands as well. So first up, we're just going to start right out. I had the pleasure of seeing the band Dysrhythmia from the Philadelphia area. Dysrhythmia has been around for a long time. I've seen them. Oh my God, I saw them back when the Cruise Inn was open on Abbott Road. Three-piece, amazing instrumental prog metal band. I think maybe Voivod meets King Crimson. They just came up and played in Rochester not too long ago. They played on a great show with Captured by Robots and one of my favorite bands, Sulaco, Rochester-based grindcore band. Great guys. Friends of mine have known them for years. If you get a chance to check out Sulaco, definitely go see them. But this Dysrhythmia album, great record, great band. They don't tour very much. If you do get a chance to see them, definitely go. They just did a little short run for this record. I don't know if they have plans to go back out. I don't know what's going on with them. But definitely a cool album. Kind of a nice gatefold artwork. Whoop. Cool gatefold artwork. And of course, everybody's got it now. Cool colored vinyl, swirl vinyl. Very cool packaging and cool record. Great record from them. Next up was a big surprise for me. Anybody who knows me at all knows that I am a huge fan of a gentleman named Richard Johnston. Richard Johnston played around Memphis for many years. He's living in Hawaii now. We like to see him back stateside, but whatever, God bless Richard. This record was his debut album, Foothill Stomp, and it was re-released on a label from Germany of all things. This is a great record. It has Cedric Burnside on it. It has Jesse May Hemphill. Richard, if you don't know Richard's story, Richard discovered the hill country music of Junior Kimbrough and R.L. Burnside, and he went down there and he played in Junior's juke joint for a while and kind of got educated that way. And just a monster player. He does the three-string cigar box guitar. R.L. Burnside famously said when Richard plays the three-string, it's like an atomic bomb going off. Great record. It's been reissued. Shouldn't be too hard to find. It was a good price. It wasn't super expensive. And a great record with some originals and some covers on it. I can't say enough good things about Richard. Then also, when it comes to reissues, I scored the debut album. Had to put this back in my collection. I don't know what happened to it. Somebody has good musical taste, I guess, and stole my copy. But I got the debut album from the English band Gang of Four, 1979 release. This is the reissue, and this also comes on really cool vinyl as well. Great record from them. If you're unfamiliar with Gang of Four, by all means, pick up the first 5 albums because you won't be disappointed. Gang of Four is one of the, I don't want to say one of the few bands, but yeah, I guess I will say one of the few bands from back then that I still do listen to. A lot of that stuff I seem to have moved on, and I'm not going to be putting on too many Depeche Mode albums lately. But Gang of Four has stayed on my playlist all these years. Great band. Speaking of reissues from great bands, the Ministry, The Land of Rape and Honey, was reissued a while back, and this too is on really cool vinyl. And a great record from the originator really of industrial music, Al Jurgensen and company. Legendary band. It's touring a little bit more these days, playing smaller venues, which is nice for the fans. You get to see them in a cool place. They are currently on the last run of Slayer dates, so if anyone does get a chance to see the Slayer final run through the States, Ministry's on the tour. Great band. Can't say enough good things about Ministry. Was glad to get this record back into my collection, even if it's a reissue. So we did some crate digging and got some really cool stuff. This is the Carter Family album. The Carter Family, of course, is the first family of country music. This album has all the sisters, Anita, Maybelle, June, and Helen Carter, and doing sort of the songbook they were famous for. This record was a find, digging through crates, found it, and definitely worth having some real hillbilly country music from, once again, the first family of country music. Was fortunate enough to meet A.P. Carter's granddaughter, Rita. Last year we went to the Carter Family Fold in Hiltons, Virginia. They do a weekly show there. It was really great, really fun time. Amazing music, amazing people. Definitely, if you don't know the Carter family, if you like Johnny Cash and you know June Carter, go back and dig up the Carter family stuff. Just a great collection of stuff on this particular record. Also from Crate Digging is Little Feat, Time Loves a Hero. Kind of one of my more favorite Southern rock bands. I hate to say Southern rock, I know it has kind of a bad connotation with some people, but definitely a great record from them. Going through the bins and you just see something, oh wow, I know this band, but I don't know this record. This was a really fun listen. Also, this was a big find. This was some crate digging that I did in Rochester Buffalo, not too long ago. This is Nathan and the Zydeco Cha-Chas. This is an album called Steady Rock on Rounder Records. Rounder did release a fair amount of Zydeco back in the day. Not so much anymore, unfortunately. This record was probably pretty hard to find. I had the pleasure of seeing Nathan Williams and his band a couple of summers ago down in New Orleans. Great performer, great vibe. He walked around the audience for 10 minutes. He's just a great player, super fun. This record is really good, and I'm glad that, like I say, you go through the bins, you don't know what's going to be there. You find something like this. Nobody knows who Nathan Williams is, really, in Western New York. But hopefully I can change that a little bit. Definitely, check his stuff out. A little more crate digging. This is a promo copy, Earl Hines Trio record, and Earl Hines is one of the foremost jazz players from back in the day. Another person, if you don't know, get educated on Earl Hines. Great player, wonderful stuff. Can't say enough cool stuff about some of the old jazz guys. This record is really a fun listen. Also, more crate digging. I could not believe I found this. The third Stanley Clarke album from 1975, Journey to Love, has the most amazing lineup ever. This record has Jeff Beck, John McLaughlin, Chick Corea, Lenny White. So there's no way that this isn't a good record. I'm a bass player. If you're a bass player, of course, you probably know Stanley Clarke. In fact, coming up really soon, if it's not happening right now, he is doing a run of dates at the Blue Note in New York. He always has amazing guests. 2015, I got to see one of the shows there at the Blue Note. Of course, Stanley Clarke, monster player, huge talent. And if you're in New York this week, November, he usually does it around mid-November. And he's doing it again as well, probably right about now. And this album was a real nice listen and a find as well. Also, another artist maybe that you're not too familiar with. This is a Bill Nelson album from 1979. It's called Red Noise. And if you don't know, Bill Nelson was a member of the band Bebop Deluxe. Not too popular in the U.S. Really great guitar rock, I guess. Maybe sort of towards the prog side of stuff. I see Bill Nelson albums every once in a while, and over the years I've grabbed them when I've seen them. Red Noise, great album. Kind of dated, it's made in 1979, so it's going to sound like the 80s, new wave, but really great record anyways. Great talent. If you do look up Bill Nelson on YouTube, there's some really amazing clips of him, and probably from maybe the mid-2000s. Just put it on and check it out. Bill Nelson, wonderful guitar player, great songwriter. Can't say enough cool things about Bill Nelson as well. Also another band I'm not too familiar with, but from England, Status Quo, 2-record set, live 1977 record from them. And Status Quo is super popular in England and a little bit in Europe. I looked them up just a couple minutes ago. They had like 60 songs in the top 10 over the years. Great kind of rock band, that maybe not everybody's too familiar with. And once again, it sounds a bit dated. It's a bit like, early hard rock, but great stuff and really entertaining. A lot of the metal bands, new wave of British heavy metal, grew out of this sound with Status Quo and Diamond Head and things like that. I know Metallica always cites bands like that as well. So it's always cool to go back and see what these older bands sounded like. Also, another little road trip we took up to Montreal. This was one of the records that we scored. Rainbow, Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, of course, Ronnie James Dio, lead vocalist. This is a really cool find. Always enjoyed having this. Came up missing in my record collection. Know where the hell it went, but scored it when I was in Montreal, and now it's back where it belongs in my record collection. Two more things locally. Went to Black Dots over on Grant Street and picked up one of the albums that's missing from my collection, Zappa Live at Fillmore East 1971. This has the infamous Mud Shark piece. And if you don't know about the Mud Shark, you can look up Led Zeppelin Mud Shark and you can read all about it there. Like I say, it was nice to catch this for $6. Pretty good, pretty playable copy. Thanks over at Black Dots. And another record I scored over from Black Dots is Death's Spiritual Healing. It's a reissue. That was $13. I was like, why not? This I don't have. The original ones are way too expensive. So I scored this. Chuck Schindler is no longer with us, but great album. And like I say, every once in a while you see something that's missing from your collection, you got to go score it. So this was just purchased about a month ago. So that's sort of a little rundown of some of the records that I purchased in the last couple months. Do a quick show rundown thing. We just saw Leftover Crack last night over at the Rec Room. What a great show that was. Amazing time, amazing vibe, great people there. A few weeks before that, Immolation at Mohawk Place. Legendary death metal band put on a great set. What else did we go see? Went and saw my friends play in Iron Fist. Did a Halloween tribute to Spinal Tap. That was super fun over at Mohawk Place. Also the same night we saw my friends in the Waves play a really fun show with the Bass Pro Revivalists. And they did a really nice set of their rock music with horns. It was really cool, really fun time. And I guess we'll just end on that note right there. Go out and support your local bands. Go see your friends play. They want you to be there. So this is Mike Mully for Next Level Music Nerd. If you got any comments or anything you want to say or add or correct me if I got something wrong, have at it. Have a good one, man. Bye.